Hello guys and welcome to Around the Scene, presented to you by Playing with the Rockets. I'm one of your hosts, PWR Ryan, and joining me today is the man in charge of the purple and black. We have Kairos. How you doing, man?
Yo, what's up, bro? How's it going?
It's going well. So why don't you give us a quick introduction of who you are and why people should know you?
Well, I am a Rocket League coach, and I enjoy coaching, so I stopped playing the game to coach, and that's about it.
Quick and to the point. I dig it. You excited to be on with us today, though?
Absolutely.
This is your first time in, you said, 2 years since you've done an interview?
Basically, yeah. RL related.
It'll be a good time, though. This is
Been
going to be
interviewed in like actual jobs, but yeah. Anyway,
this will be a lot of fun, though. We're going to have a good time. If you didn't know, this is episode 14 of Around the Scene. We're here every Wednesday to give you your fix on all things Rocket League. If you like this, please consider giving us a follow here or a sub on Twitch. Consider also kicking us $1 over on patreon.com/playingwithrockets. We thank you guys for joining us, and we encourage you guys to be discussing there in chat. But if you want to be a part of the show, you need to come watch us live like you're doing right now. And you can ask us questions here in chat. If it's on topic, we'll be trying to integrate you into the show. It's a new thing we're trying out here. So feel free to throw in topics and everything, and we'll work you in as best we can. Quick shout out to our Patreon sponsors for the month of July. We have Father of Five and Jonesy. So Kairos, you ready to just jump right in, man?
let's go for it.
All right, for today's news segment, we've got 5 items. The first item of news is going to be Beyond the Summit has announced they will be doing a Rocket League tournament with us. And you were saying that you're not familiar with Beyond the Summit earlier, right?
Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know, Beyond the Summit has mainly been doing fighting game tournaments, but they do their tournaments with a nice extra little twist to it. So they make it kind of more grassroots. They do funny skits and stuff with players for like advertisements. They have the players come on and do some commentary and things. And basically it's everybody just like chilling out on a couch, and then people off to the side also playing games. It's very down to earth. It's very grassroots. It's very relaxed atmosphere. Very similar to Gold Rush. If you guys have seen that before, back when James Bott and all them were doing that.
Yeah.
But what do you kind of make of this now that you know a little more?
That sounds pretty cool. It's not like that's like the kind of event that I like. Is it an invitational?
Yeah, it's gonna be like they're gonna invite the players that they want, but it's gonna be EU players, North American players. I think they might be bringing in some OCE and SAM players, but I'm not entirely sure on that.
Okay, that's pretty cool because Gold Rush was like pretty much the same exact way. Like I'm pretty sure they had EU players as well.
Yeah, they had several of them over as well.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that kind of event because it's more like it's just more chill, and it's
Yeah.
not.
Well, it's something that it's not so much for like the fame and glory of it. It's for the fans. It's
Yeah.
something that's for the people who love Rocket League esports. And so I'm super excited for this. I'm not a huge fighting game person, but I got into it a little bit when I was doing Smash commentary a little while back. And so I watched some of their stuff, and Beyond the Summit is just really cool. They just throw out 2 couches, and it looks like it looks like they're casting from a basement almost. But like it's actually like really high quality production, but it looks like it's just like down home, just a couple guys set up cameras and went ahead with everything. So it's gonna have a lot of Gold Rush vibes to it. So get excited for that, guys. Do you have anything else you want to add on that one?
Wait, what?
Do you have anything else you want to add on that one before we move on to the next bit of news?
No. Yeah, let's move on. Let's move on.
The next bit of news is Rocket Baguette and Golden Dust Cup have partnered up to lay the foundations for a Rocket League circuit. This one you and me talked about. Neither of us are too familiar with these, so I went to the Reddit post, and I'm just going to read you guys a little quick snippet of what's going on here. So this comes from Ness_CJR over on the subreddit. Quote, Rocket Baguette and Golden Dust Cup, the two main Rocket League tournament organizers of France and Spain, are pleased to announce an unprecedented partnership to lay the foundations of a European Rocket League circuit. After months of preparation, RB and GDC have managed to set everything up for the best teams of their countries to compete together in a long-awaited European circuit. While additional partners from other European countries are expected to join the circuit in the future and make the competition bigger and better, the first season is set to begin in September. This small step is born from the desire of both organizations to provide a quality, competitive frame to the best players from each territory, leading to a continental competition in accordance with the European cultural legacy of sports, with the ambition of replicating the European football model. More information will be published soon. Follow Rocket Baguette and Golden Dust Cup on social media in order to not miss it. So, what it looks like they're going for here, I finally, like reading it just now, kind of helped made it all clear for me. So they're aiming to set it up like a regular soccer circuit there in Europe. Interesting. I'm not sure like how they're gonna work that out, because you imagine they're gonna do it like in a league style. I think it'd be kind of cool to see something like that here in the U.S.
I have no clue like what that even means. Like how actual soccer does it. I have no clue how that.
Yeah, I can't say I've watched a whole lot of soccer over there to really know how they have the league set up and stuff. But I can't imagine it's too different from like what like baseball and stuff is over here.
Yeah, but what I do like is that they're trying to use a model of an already existing sport and
Yeah,
replicating like what an actual sports model like is. And I think that makes sense since it's like seeing something they're seeing someone do something like more efficient and then you like adapting to it and then doing what they're doing. So like it's just hopefully it's just healthier
yeah.
that way and there's just more growth for the esport.
Yeah, and I have to agree with you. I like the fact that they're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. I like that they're just keeping it simple and they're like, hey, they already have a format. Let's just copy it and apply it to this. Rocket League and soccer aren't really crazy different in their aspects of like what you're aiming for in the game. So I like that they're trying to just copy and paste a model. And I mean, of course, they're gonna make a few tweaks, but you have so many organizations nowadays in esports and Rocket League too that just they want to reinvent the wheel and try to come up with some
Some
fangled new
crazy
way to do.
innovative thing like
Yeah, and it's just one of
totally
those things that it's
unnecessary.
like, I mean, it works. Like, don't try to change it dramatically. Like, this system works. Just go use it. It's there already.
Like the Renegade Cup is a perfect example.
Yeah, I mean,
They like
like,
I don't even want to get into that. It's just their whole design of that is just horrible. And, like whoever raises their hand at the meeting to say that is just should be fired on the spot. Actually,
I dig it though. No, I would like to see the Renegade Cup be changed as well, but I think it'd be really cool to see something like this over here in the U.S. I think it'd be interesting because, oh man, that'd be a little tough though, because I guess you'd just have to do it towards like state versus state, but there's already like a group that tried to do that, but I don't think they were very successful.
I don't. There's been two groups that have tried to do it.
Yeah.
The
Were
first
you
one
a
was in
part of
like
either of
27.
those?
I was a part of both. Or
Oh.
not the second one. The first one. The first one.
Oh,
And
okay.
then that's why I didn't do the second one because the first one was trash. So it was unfortunate. Like it's an interesting concept, but one that I don't think can be sustained until the player base is like increased tenfold.
Yeah. Well, then it's also
Because
the thing of like you have some regions that'll be really stacked, and or like some states here that would be really stacked, and some that would be pretty lackluster. I mean, granted, you're gonna see that in Europe too. I'm willing to bet.
yeah, Vitality. They all live in France.
France is just gonna steamroll everyone. Rocket Baguette is just gonna win their own competition.
But what I mean is that's the case right now for state for state. It's that there's not many players like in fucking South Dakota, for example. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like,
Yeah, well, and like that's exactly right. Is like you also have like that difference of time zones and stuff makes it really difficult. Like because you're trying to think like, okay, you'd want to like. There's just a lot of logistical stuff that really would go into it that I think would make it really difficult. But I think it could be done properly. I don't think either of the Rocket League state versus state things did it right. I was a part of the initial setup for the second one, and after like a little bit of just kind of getting nowhere with them on trying to set things up properly, they were like, I was just like, no, I'm out.
yeah, I think what would be cool is if they structured it similar to CRL and do it by conference.
Yeah, and like I was trying to create a conference setup with them, and they decide to they like changed the conferences to where like it didn't make sense. It was like the conferences that like I was initially proposing with them were like keeping everyone in the same time zone and stuff, and then having a competition with everyone following that outside of conference. And like they, for some reason, they just weren't for it. So I was just like, okay, this isn't gonna work. You have people on the East Coast are gonna have to play people over in California. One of them's not gonna be able to make that time.
Yeah, I mean that's been the case since RL has been a thing.
Yeah,
Like when you look at an organization such as Shifts Pro League, their tournaments were specific to West Coast servers. Like
yeah,
that was what the standard was. And then PRL, back when PRL was PRL, not Rival, they obviously the only East Coast. So
yeah.
it's just it's not like that's gonna be the case for it like forever. I'm pretty sure like there's nothing like, that you can do about
Yeah.
that.
It's just
Unfortunately.
aside from just like making it always on the weekend, there's really nothing else you can do. I agree with you on that one. You got anything else that you want to add on this? I mean, I'm excited for it. I think it's gonna be a really cool deal. Um, I'll be keeping a close eye on it, see how it develops.
Yeah, no, I
Maybe we
think
can try
it's
starting it here again. Follow their
yeah.
model.
Are you talking about the France thing, or are you talking about the not council, the
Uh, the uh,
conference?
the Rocket Baguette and Gold Dust Cup thing.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think I've said everything that I've thought of.
Cool. We're going to move on to the third item, which is Rocket League was among the top 5 most popular esports channels for the month of June. They were 5th on the list in terms of peak viewers, reaching 179,969 during the G2 and Vitality match for the grand finals of RLCS. Only falling behind ESL, CSGO, Dota 2, Riot Games, League of Legends, and Epicenter. That's also Dota. I like seeing this because you have so many people over on the Rocket League subreddit who are just like, Rocket League's dying. It's got no viewership. It's on the way out, and it's just top 5 in the month of June on Twitch. Like, no, I think we're pretty good.
Yeah, wait. So that top 5 stat was exclusive to all tournaments, right? Like that, those were all tournaments.
For all esports tournaments.
Okay.
So this is for esports channels. These are groups that are dedicated specifically to esports broadcasting.
That's cool. Yeah, I think that's not boastable, but it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good.
Yeah.
They're on the right track.
Yeah, I think that speaks volumes of Rocket League. The fact that it was able to, because you also have to think like it was, I think Fortnite did. Didn't they do qualifiers and stuff in June or something?
I don't. Early June? I don't know.
I don't know. But I mean, you just have to think like of all the competitions that happened in the month of June for us to be top 5, like that's pretty great. I mean, you have so many people who are just like, "Oh, the viewership's down. It's dying. Like Psyonix is doing everything wrong." And it's just one of those things that like I mean, I think that now that E-League's in charge, I think things are going a lot smoother.
Wait, E-League, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so now that they've taken ownership, I think that viewership and stuff's only going to increase because those people know how to manage this stuff.
Yeah, E-League does like a lot of other events too. I'm pretty sure they do
Yeah.
CS as well.
Yeah, they do. CSGO and Rocket League were two of the big ones they've done. They did other. They've also done like Street Fighter and other stuff too. So they've been in a lot of big games for esports. They haven't done anything for League of Legends or Dota, simply because those two operate in a very different capacity
Yeah.
compared to the other games. But I mean, I like just looking at this stuff just makes me confident in it all again. For those of you who are watching at home, here's the information so you can just kind of take a look at it. We have CS:GO up there at the top with 2,000 or 225,000 viewers. Dota at 215, League of Legends 197, Dota again at 195, and then us at 179. I mean, not even 20,000 off from the fourth place one. I mean, I'm happy to see that. I'm content with that, to be honest. At least for
Yeah.
now.
Do you remember when there was a poll going around? I think it happened twice. There was this poll of like, what esport would you want to see as a secondary to CS:GO at like DreamHack or something? And it was like Rainbow Six or RL was the biggest ones.
Oh yeah. Every time DreamHack does we covered this actually. They did it was like DreamHack France or something. So what they did is they posted the tweet and they did the poll. And Rainbow Six just like they beat us, not by a whole lot, but they still beat us. And then the DreamHack France people turned around and said, "Hey, we're gonna go ahead and do Rocket League instead," even though Rainbow Six won. And
Oh, really?
people pitched a fit over this, man. People were not happy, and then they ended up not even doing the event because not enough people signed up.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think I'm. Yeah, I don't know which one that was of the two polls that I remember, but
It was like
but
a smaller DreamHack event in France, I believe, is what it was.
okay, yeah. I just remember. I just remember seeing that, and then now seeing that Rainbow Six. Did they even? Did you know if Rainbow Six had a tournament in June at all? Because
Uh, I don't know actually. Maybe not. I don't know how their schedule operates necessarily, so I'm gonna say they didn't.
yeah,
But I'll go back and take a look on that and get back to you. I I don't think they did.
because I signed up for like a Rogue giveaway or something, and then I see all their tweets now,
Oh
and
yeah.
they're constantly tweeting out about Rogue stuff. Yeah, Rainbow Six stuff.
Oh yeah, because that was like one of the new teams they picked up.
Yeah, so that's what I was wondering, because that would be interesting
Yeah.
in that case. Maybe it just started in July or something. I don't know.
Maybe I'm not entirely sure, but I mean, again, guys watching at home, good news for Rocket League. We're not dying. We're doing just fine. You got anything else you want to kick in on this one? Moving on to the next bit of news. This one, not like crazy big news, but Rival Esports have announced their 2019 Summer Open, which is going to have a $1,500 prize pool for both NA and EU. They're going to have their own separate $1,500 prize pools. And your team's going to be playing in this, right?
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully.
If times line up and everyone's
Yeah.
chilling, then yeah.
do you I don't want you to try and give away too much because I know that you said that you guys haven't announced your third currently that you are trying out. But how do you feel about some of the competition that is currently, at least here in North America? How do you feel about some of the competition currently?
That's see, like I have too much to say about this kind of topic because
Hey man, we got time. Throw it all out there. Let's go.
well, it's also kind of toxic, but
Nah.
basically it's like every team up until like in my eyes, every team up until about top 6 RLCS should be beat fairly easy through
Hmm.
just like common sense, basically. Like I feel like it's pretty simple
Yeah.
to be able to just dismantle any team that's not top 6 RLCS, like any bottom 2 RLCS and any RS. Just lack like complete fundamental like understanding. So I feel that basically, as long as we can do that, then we can play good and keep a good head, not get
Yeah.
tilted, and remember to stay composed. And I feel like as if we can do that, then that's half the battle. Probably more than half the battle.
Yeah.
But generally speaking,
Mental state is a lot of the battle for Rocket League.
yeah. Like generally speaking, though, I feel like it always comes down to whoever. Like it's not whoever plays good, like and better than the other team will win. It's just whoever plays worse less will win.
Yeah,
Like
remains more consistent is gonna do a better job.
yeah, because it's like good plays happen. Like at RS level, good plays happen more often than bad plays, obviously. But
Yeah.
like it's just that so much more attention is given to the bad plays that it feels like that other like wording it the other way just makes more sense.
Yeah.
So my expectation, I don't have one for the event. I don't have expectations for any event.
Well, and yeah, it's. I mean, you also are trying out your new third and stuff. So, I mean, what is the goal with this one? What's the hope that y'all can achieve with this one, though?
So our goal always is to lose to a team that should, in theory, be better than us. Is always the goal.
Yeah.
So like,
Not a team that you guys feel like you could beat if you're doing well.
so top 2 RLRS team basically is anyone below that, anyone below a
Yeah.
top 2 team, I would be disappointed if we lost to, basically.
Fair enough. Um. So yeah, we got that coming up. And then in news akin to that, just to kind of continue our conversation that we have currently going, DreamHack Montreal qualifiers are this weekend, and they will be doing qualifiers for all 4 RLCS eligible regions. So that's North
Oh,
America, Europe, South America, and Oceania.
that's sick.
Yeah.
That's
So
actually sick.
yeah, so there no teams are invited to this one. This isn't like the past 3
Oh,
dream hacks. So all the teams that like got top 4 in Valencia, normally they would receive an invite to this one. That's not happening this time. So in the qualifiers, there's more spots available.
that, that is so awesome because like when not Valencia, Dallas. It was either Dallas or Leipzig. I think it was Leipzig.
Yeah.
I was like, because so many upsets happened. It's like
Yeah, there were a lot of upsets for that one. I
so
think
many
I remember
like
that one.
so many upsets just in general happen like for these DreamHack events, and I feel like they don't really mean anything. Like like it might mean something in the moment, but it's like looking back on it, it's like it's unfortunate that it means like fairly little because
Yeah.
like the players don't care. They're just gonna get invited, and their orgs are gonna fly them out like the next day. So
Yeah.
it's like
And
who
well, and
cares?
that's kind of my thought too, because I think that for teams like you guys, like the bubble scene teams or the RLRS teams that don't have an organization, like it matters a lot more because this is like the only way that they'd show up otherwise.
That's what I'm saying. Like they need. This is another example potentially. I'm not sure. Might be of them trying to reinvent the wheel on how to organize an event is
Yeah.
because someone told me that the way CS organizes their events is I don't think there's like mini invitationals at all, and they have to just play all through like some bracket or some tournament to earn their spot.
Oh,
So
okay.
that's how CS does it, and same thing with like actual sports too, potentially like how they organize playoffs and stuff
Yeah.
from that's more into RLCS and like the regional kind of setup, which is
Yeah.
weird. But about DreamHack is they were kind of in between. Like they should have either done no RLCS teams and only RLRS and bubble teams, and then like one open spot or two open spots still,
Yeah.
or invite all teams, or I mean, don't invite any teams and then have more spots. But they did like
Yeah.
a mix in between, and then
I
that's why
like
there's
I
upsets.
like that they have more. I like that they're doing no invites this time, and it's just more spots open in the qualifiers. I dig that a lot more because then it gives these average Joe teams a bit more of a chance to actually try and make it there. Because I mean, just again, like this, it's expensive to travel. It's not. It's not like it's so easy to just say, "Oh, I'm gonna head out to this tournament this weekend." I mean, you gotta think. You have to pay your entry fees. You have to make You have to make flight costs. You have to get lodging. You gotta deal with meals. Like that all adds up extremely fast. And
Yeah,
for the average person who's working or in school, like that's just not feasible to try and have, like they don't have that kind of money just laying around to make their appearance there. So in a lot of these cases, like the qualifiers are the only shot that these teams have at being there. And I mean, I I'm hoping that with this setup we see a couple more teams that aren't RLCS level make it in and receive those invites. I like that they're expanding to Oceania and Sam for this too, though, because I think that those guys they need LAN experience. They need it so badly.
I don't even think it's like that would definitely help, but I don't really think they need LAN experience. I feel like they just need experience, you know?
Well, like I say, LAN experience because like really, what other way are they gonna really be able to play against a lot of the other teams outside of their region? You know, and so LANs are just kind of like the only place they really have the option for that. But in Sam and Oceania's case, they really don't have like local LANs or anything that they do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't follow the scene in either of those places, so I don't know. But yeah, if
I mean,
they're
they have like
real,
maybe one, but that's really it.
yeah, like I don't even know of any like that's in the U.S. So it's like that's probably me just not knowing. But
I
if
mean,
I'm sure I
not
would
everybody
know.
knows on those things because they are pretty minor events.
Yeah, like yeah, I don't know.
But I mean, I'm excited for this one. I hope that it means that I think it means that we're gonna see some non RLCS teams make it through and receive those invitations. But you know, just hey, if you're playing this weekend, good luck to you, and we wish you guys all the best on that. Um, do you
Do you
have
know?
what?
Do you know if it's like 12 teams or like 16 teams? Like how many teams are going to be qualified for?
Let me pop the link open because I just never have these open for some weird reason. Da, 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 da.
Because I could see like 4 NA, 4 EU, 2 SAM, 2 OCE to equal 12. Like that was Worlds, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Da, da, da. The top three teams from both Europe and North America and the top team from both South America and Oceania will receive a travel package and a spot in the Montreal live event. So only one team from the two other regions and then three teams from Europe and North America.
Wait, so it. Oh, wait, what? That's crazy. So,
Cause yeah,
wow.
cause normally they would do two invites to Europe and North America, but since they aren't doing the invites to the top four from the last one, those four spots are now open, so it makes it 3-3 and 1-1.
That's. So that's total 8?
Total of 8 spots.
What? That's crazy. There's. That's. Wait, that doesn't make sense. Like, I guess it does make sense because they want the best teams, top three
Yeah.
NA, top three EU.
I mean, I'm just happy that they're at least offering the option to Oceania and South America, even if it is just one team. Like the fact that one team's going, the organizations that sponsor the other ones might actually try to then make it so they can still go. You know? Because
Yeah.
some of the teams are actually like sponsored by um, fairly large organizations that actually have like League of Legends teams and stuff too. So their organizations have some money. I don't know if it's a lot, but they have some money that they could hopefully use to start giving these guys more experience.
Yeah, like 8 teams. Because I was thinking like dang, they're not forcing the orgs to pay for it. They're paying for it. Well, if their prize is like 100K, it's
Yeah.
like
So it's
20
it's a whole
20%
travel
of their
package. So
prize.
it's your lodging, food, travel, everything.
Okay,
So
so
you
they
make top three, it's a full on ride.
see it. Even though it's like it's only been bumped up from 2 to 3, except a lot more teams are signed up now,
Yeah.
so it's
It
harder.
still
I
makes a big difference though. Just one extra spot's a big deal.
Yeah, it is, and I still appreciate that they changed it because it's probably better than it was before.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is. So I like that they changed it.
Yeah, I
So
like this too. I think doing the invites to top four of the last one is kind of meh. I don't really like that too much.
yeah, I don't think it's I don't think it's like horrible, but I think the problem lied from just the online qualifier.
Yeah.
Like I think the inviting the top four was all right. Maybe inviting the top two is better, and
Yeah,
then
if they maybe like restricted it a little bit more and then actually like went from there kind of.
yeah, they could have had a happy medium sort of compromise going
Yeah.
on to where instead of top four, uh, invite 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 top four and then have 2 spots online. It's invite
Yeah.
top two and have 3 spots online. It's that way.
No, it's exciting. I think this is gonna be really good. We'll get to take a peek and see how everybody does this weekend. Are you guys are signed up for this one, right?
Yeah, pretty sure.
So good luck to you guys in that one, man.
Thanks.
So we are now finished up with all the Rocket League news, but now we're going on to other news in the roster shuffle. So the first bit of roster news that we have is Splice have dropped their roster and they are exiting the Rocket League scene altogether. The roster looks like they are staying together for now. Um, I made a comment on Reddit about this one just because I have kind of had some gripes with Splice for a while now, but what are your thoughts on this?
So the first thing I think of is that they were in the RS for a while before they got back to the CS,
Mm-hmm.
and then they got back RS and then CS, and
Yeah,
now it's
they're
like
very bouncy.
yeah. So it's like I don't like they probably either can't afford it right now, which is my guess, or they can have better investment somewhere else. And that's probably always the case with esports. Like if they're investing in esports, then it's like you're better investing like real
Yeah,
estate or stocks or like basically anything else, unless you're looking to build a business
yeah,
and not looking for cash like short term or even long term. So it's like they're probably just investing in their other esports and not thinning themselves out so much. Maybe
yeah.
they're I don't know. You
Well,
never know because there's been like orgs like Ambition,
uh huh.
which was owned by the current rogue manager of RL,
Oh,
Wesker.
okay.
He owned Ambition, and then I don't really know much about them. All I know is that they shut down because he switched from being that owner to being the manager of FlyQuest and then Rogue now.
Yeah,
So it's like you never know what could be going on with an esports org. Same thing with Allegiance. Like I don't really know
yeah.
much about them, but they seemed relatively professional. They had good teams,
Well,
so
Allegiance
it's
was
like
different. They like shut down altogether. Like
that's what
they
I'm saying. Like
like
Splice was
Splice is just like leaving, but it also I kind of like read around on this one, and it seems like this is a kind of like history thing with Splice. Apparently, they have a tendency to just do this. So like here's a clip from a snippet from an article about the situation. Quote, Splice's exit. Splice has had a history of leaving high-profile esports after a roster turned sour. The best example to highlight would be exiting CSGO after peaking with a major appearance in 2016. While you would love for Splice to embrace the ups and downs of Rocket League, for an organization such as Splice, optimization is the name of the game. For Splice to stay in the RLCS and justify spending between $15,000 to $30,000 a month on salaries plus travel costs, they would want to expect results that would recoup some of those costs. Unfortunately, the Splice roster was not RLCS material, but Splice should have worked to improve the roster instead of dropping the project altogether. The roster had a good bit of fans, and the right rebuild would have been able to produce results similar to what Rogue has been able to accomplish. The depth of talent in the RLRS is unbelievable, but it feels that is spread a little too thin. And that's the end of the quote. So, couple things from that like got to me was they should have rebuilt the roster. I don't know that Splice really had a say in the roster, to be totally honest with you.
I feel like that's like the case 99% of the time.
Like
until your top four are
for everything I've seen, is like with Rocket League especially, the players have the control. The players are the ones who have control over these roster situations for the most part.
Yeah. Can I point something out real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Crow Shiny Wings, thank you very much for the information about WGN NA #1 getting a spot. That is completely true. And you know WGN going on right now?
I haven't been following it very closely, but yeah, I know about it.
Yeah, so the winner of that LAN, like first place, they get a shot at Montreal for free as well.
Oh, nice! That's awesome.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Now you say that, I do remember that being a thing with it.
Yeah. So
it's exciting,
thank
though.
you, Crow Shiny Wings, for your input. We appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate that, man. But popping back over to this real quick. I don't know that Splice really had much of a say in the roster situation when there. I feel like it was with Karma being the captain and stuff. I feel like a lot of it was probably more up to her, to be honest.
Yeah, see, like I'm under the impression that the role of team captain is like more verbal than anything else. Like it doesn't. I'm pretty sure it like means virtually nothing.
Yeah.
It's just like I'm the team captain. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? It's like
yeah. Well, I say it more because Splice originally came into Rocket League not to have a team. They just brought her on as like a content creator. Like they just were like supporting her as a streamer. And then
really?
like after she started getting some results with Dude with a Nose and them and Jay Wismont, I think at the time. I don't remember. After she started getting some results with her team, they then decided to come in and start supporting a team. And so I believe that she probably had more say just because she like I don't know if Splice really knew a whole lot about Rocket League, to be honest.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know much about that, but they probably would take precedence on what Karma has to say than
yeah, and that's kind of why I think that she probably had some more control over the situation than anyone else, because she was kind of that median between the team and Splice, being the one that's been with both of them longer, you know. She was with them both separately, and then she kind of unified them.
Yeah, here's another possibility, though, and it's that they could have gotten another org offer and got bought out by another org.
I mean, that's possible. I just don't feel like that's the case, though. Like, to be honest, if I'm an organization owner and I'm coming into Rocket League, and some of this is probably just biased with me and my like gripes I have with Splice, but I just don't know that that's a team I would even really be looking at, because they have the capability to be the best team, and they have the capability to be the absolute worst team. And more times than not, they find themselves somewhere in the middle doing nothing. And it's just one of those things that it's like they need to figure out consistency like ASAP, because their consistency is ridiculously awful. Like when they're on fire, they can actually bring a challenge to Cloud9, And then when they aren't, they drop to random bubble teams that you wouldn't expect an RLCS or RLRS team to lose to.
Was that in the DreamHack qualifier?
I think so. But
That is
like
exactly why I
they've just
was
lost to
pissed.
teams that like they've lost other teams that I never really put much credence into myself, and even then I was kind of like, okay, like y'all should have won that, and they still lose.
Yeah,
I can't think of any off the top of my head, but I just know I've had those instances with them.
that's like a perfect example of what I was saying on how like, oh, the close to Cloud9. It's like Cloud9's like they're probably playing that like from their plane. You know what I'm saying? Like they're already
Yeah,
on their way. So it's like it's just kind of tough like to know if that's like a
yeah.
if that's considered a result or not an achievement, even though they lost. Like I don't
But
know.
so they've been together as a roster for a while. I'm
Cloud9.
no Splice. I'm of the
Mm.
mindset that it's time. It's time that they do a roster change. I like teams that stick together, but this team has stuck together for a long time, and they still have absolutely nothing to show for it. They made it to RLCS, and they fell right back out in the blink of an eye. Even though if they had actually like played consistently and played as good as they can, I think they could have kicked Ghost down too. And
Yeah,
so it's one of those things that's like I think it's time for a roster change personally, but what do you think?
I think as soon as they made RLCS, they should have gotten a roster change, and
Really?
they probably tried. Yeah, they probably tried, and they probably couldn't, and it's because like I've thought the way that they like probably were thinking in terms of like not- in terms of noticing like how far a player can go
Yeah.
until they've plateaued and still keeping the team's best intentions in mind.
Hmm.
And basically I'm adding dude with the nose
Yeah.
and basically saying that they can only do so much as a team like for that specific roster.
Yeah.
And I don't know how good of a coach Jimmer is, but in the times where they peaked and played really well, it probably reflected what he taught them in coaching. I
Hmm.
don't know though, but they were also really inconsistent. So
Yeah.
you after you notice those inconsistencies and after you notice that if there isn't anything you can do about them and it's just like a mental thing on the player
Yeah.
side, then you basically just have to move on right there and not try to hold on to it and then waste time.
Yeah.
It's so they might have wanted to change the roster, maybe not, maybe they wanted to give it a shot and then
See, go
try
from
again
there
next
maybe.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah, but personally I feel that the best move typically is to get a roster move.
I mean, I like it when teams stick together. I think that you should stick together for a good bit of time. As for like an amount of time, I don't really know what to tell you on that. But I think that you should be together for a while, give things an honest shot, and then after a little bit, if you're still not seeing results, look into making a change. Begin considering a change. And I do not feel like this team has been considering a change. I think that they're just like, no, we can do this together. We will do this together. And like, that's kind of the end of it. And it's like, but I don't think you can.
Maybe
I just,
Splice was trying to milk their contract as long as they could.
maybe, I mean, who knows? Splice could have maybe tried to say, like, hey, we need a roster change at this point. And they could have
They
said,
want no
no,
money.
we don't want that. Like, we believe in sticking as a team. So, I mean, if it went that way, I can kind of understand why Splice dropped it then. But yeah, it kind of is what it is. You know, I mean, it's just kind of how the scene goes. You got anything else you want to add on this one?
Nope.
Cool. Moving on to the next bit of news, Snasky leaves Dingtoss and joins Complexity as their coach. So he was the coach for Dingtoss. He's moved over to Complexity now. You're a coach. What are your thoughts on this?
So, see, this is tough because I don't know what the situation was with Dignitas. I don't know why he left. I don't know what the
Yeah.
players were like or whatever. I don't even know who's on Dignitas right now. Isn't it like
It's
it's Violent
Violent
Panda and Yukio?
Violent Panda, Yukio, and I think their third that they're trying out for Montreal is or
It was Astro, I'm
it
pretty
was
sure.
yeah, for Valencia it was Astral.
that's definitely just a pickup team. I can't see them actually picking up Astral. Like
Yeah.
he's not like a bad player or anything. He's not top 4 RLCS.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure why Snasky left. I don't even know how that like actually is even possible because he definitely signed a contract with them.
I mean, they could have broke the
I
Complexity
mean, I
could have
guess
bought him out.
that's definitely possible since Complexity is owned by can't
It's
remember.
like the guy
Basketball
who
team.
owns Complexity owns I think the Dallas Cowboys.
Cowboys. There it
Yeah.
is. Yeah.
Hence why their
So
logos look very similar.
yeah, that's the only reason why I remembered. Um, but yeah, I think that is definitely a possibility with that taken into consideration. So
Yeah.
maybe that happened, but I can't see why like they would like
Yeah.
like try so hard to get Snasky over someone else.
Yeah.
It's just I guess money isn't a problem for them, so like they could care less. But at the same time, it's like
Yeah.
it's an investment. You have to just a lot of small errors or big errors in investment will add up over time to
Yeah.
where it's just
So
all of a sudden you're 6 feet under.
I mean, I hope it works out for him though. I mean, I think Snasky's a good coach. I think that he'll do a good job for them.
Yeah, I mean, I can't like I don't know because if it came down to the like maybe he signed quickly and then the honeymoon phase ended and all of a sudden
Yeah.
Panda's a douchebag or whatever. It's like it's hard to say because it's like
Yeah.
like we don't know his situation. We didn't know what was going on.
Well, and it seems like there was a lot going on with that too. It just seems like there's a lot going on behind the scenes with that team that I mean, we're all never gonna know what all it is, but it sounds like there's like a lot of crap going on behind the scenes.
Another possibility was that since of how unstable they are, he probably. I wonder if he reached out to Complexity or Complexity reached out to him.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like Complexity reached out to him.
Yeah, I'm having to think that as well. But on the flip side, it's like I wouldn't want to coach like a broken up team that is like struggling and like next season they're about to they just came off of a bad season and they're struggling to find a third right now already. So it's like
it's gonna be rough.
And
then Complexity on the flip side are just doing awesome right now.
I was just gonna say. So it's like he could just be like cutthroat in that sense and just go for what he feels like he needs to for his own best interests, which I respect. So yeah. I think it was the right play because it's better for him, and I'm pretty much gonna say that that's the best play. Like always, is whatever's best for someone else, like their own interest.
So, moving on to the next one, we're gonna just say this one really quickly, and then we're gonna go into the freewheeling so that I can ask you some questions because I want to get to know you more, man. So this last bit of roster news is the Peeps roster for DreamHack Montreal is going to be Reddles, Explosive Gyro, and then Atomic RL is going to come in as their third. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that to see if he could potentially be their new third moving into the Season 8 of RLCS. But that's going to do it for the roster shuffle. So moving on into the freewheeling segment now, man, I get to finally ask you some questions about you, yourself, and just your experiences as a coach. We still got about 10, 12 minutes left, so we have some time to kind of chit-chat. So first question that I got for you, man. What is one of the biggest challenges that you have or that you've seen for coaching in Rocket League? Lay it on me.
If 12 minutes is all we got, it's gonna take me a while.
Hey,
so,
we can discuss this one at length, or we can like zip through it and then discuss another one at length.
Yeah. So, see, like, the first thing I have to say is that I feel like there's so many like quote coaches that is like.
Yeah, there's a lot.
It's like some of them may be genuine, some of them may be looking to just make a quick buck on like some plat. Some of them maybe just
I'm gonna coach you up, man. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's like how much do you know about golf?
I know enough.
Okay,
I play, so I know a decent amount.
okay. So it's like I feel like yeah, people watching me and I get it, but it's like the person helping you in golf is like, dude, just keep your head down, man. Like a typical thing is
Oh, like the
if you look
caddy
away,
just saying like, "Oh, keep your head down."
yeah, it's like, dude, because if when you move your head around and you like
Yeah,
nervous or whatever to take the shot on a golf ball, it's like you're just gonna miss the hit.
yeah,
You're
you're
gonna
gonna mess
mess
it
it up
up.
somehow. Like just to stay
Slice
calm and
it or
stuff.
hook it in
So
some
it's
way.
like yeah, so it's like any RL coach that like doesn't really have rep or anything is like hard to tell if they're actually a good coach because they just like that's just them in a nutshell. It's just that is them the
Yeah.
golf analogy. So it's like it starts off at just they just don't know what they're talking about gameplay wise, and they just try to make sense of things that like they say it confidently and hope that the other
Yeah.
person just accepts what they're saying, regardless of if like
It's right
they
or
could
wrong.
yeah they could completely believe in their own mind that they're right and be
Yeah.
wrong. Like that's completely
Well,
normal, but
it's like all the platinum players who say, "I'm good. It's my teammates who are bad."
oh my gosh, it's
They
like
you because they fully like a lot of them fully believe that though. They're like, "I know I'm good. It's you all who suck, and I'm stuck with you."
yeah, it's like I'm champ two, but I play like a GC. It's like,
Yeah, yeah,
but about the coaching, it's like a lot of it is just I feel from the people that I've ran into is they just don't even know what they're talking about in general, and
yeah,
then they try to same thing we are talking about before is just try to create some innovative way to do coaching.
yeah. They just kind of try to reinvent the wheel rather than try to kind of go from the fundamentals and stuff.
Yeah, they try to think of it as like the
Super
super
like
complex
very
game.
difficult thing when you can just do basic things with it.
Yeah, like if you just break it down into the game super simply, like at its
Yeah.
core principles, it's like so much better and
Yeah.
makes more sense and
So I can
yeah.
take it then that one of the biggest challenges for you is trying to break away and show that you actually know what you're talking about despite this kind of sea of people who don't actually know what they're talking about.
Well, see that's the thing is that I'm not looking to prove to anyone that I know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about because I don't care about that. What I'm only looking to do is bring whatever team that I coach to the next level, and
Yeah.
then that's just my goal. I don't really do individual coaching, although if someone like asks me and they'll
Yeah.
pay me, then I'll do it, obviously. But I
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
like
how it comes down to how much is your time worth almost.
yeah. So basically, I don't I don't like. I'm not looking to prove to anyone. Like the only reason I would want to prove anything to anyone is so I could have more rep.
Yeah.
But it's like at the same time, I don't really care too much about that as of right now.
Yeah.
So basically, like as like the only people that I'm trying to prove it to are the players that I'm coaching.
Yeah.
I'll just put it that way.
Kind of earn their respect so that they'll actually kind of take some of the things you say to heart and not try to argue with you so much.
Yeah, and
I think that that's probably one of the hardest things in at
see that.
least for what I've seen is just like actually getting players to accept the things you say and not just be like, "Oh, I'm better than you." Like I don't need to really take what you say. Like
See,
I know more than you.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like that's exactly why it's the easiest thing. Like to me, it's not the hardest. It's like it's definitely the easiest thing to me is because everything that like I say is backed by something. Like there'll be times when I'm wrong,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna be like, duh, I'm not wrong, dude. Like I don't know
I
what you're
I
talking
know
about.
my stuff, man. Don't worry.
Like I'll openly admit that I'm wrong or like I made a
Yeah.
mistake. It's like it's just
Well,
normal.
I think that's good because if you can admit that like you maybe don't have the answer, it makes you more human, and so then, but like it also shows like you have a semblance of understanding. Like okay, like that was wrong, but you're learning from that, and they're learning from that as well.
Yeah, what it comes down to is just being transparent and not trying to like fake who you are or
Yeah,
fake that you know it all or some like
yeah,
stupid like thing that people do to when their egos get in the way.
yeah,
So basically, the reason why it's the easiest thing for me though to to prove to players and
Yeah.
get the respect is because I'm just not wrong. It's just like straight up like I provided like evidence for everything and
Yeah.
every situation. It's like I openly accept any criticism to what I
Yeah.
like they might feel against me, and then I'm not gonna just dismiss it instantly. I'm gonna hear them out, and then after they say what they say, agree, disagree, and then we battle it out, and then
Go from there.
we see what happens. So
Yeah. All right.
that's and because I've spent a ridiculous amount of time watching replays,
Yeah.
pro and of the team that I coach, to be able to understand like what I do and
Yeah.
speak. And like I said, it's for the glory of my team, not for anyone that might care or not care about me. It doesn't
I
matter.
dig it. I dig it. I'll ask you this question. We'll talk about it at length, and then we'll go into our closeout for the show. Or if you answer it fast, we'll go into another one. How much responsibility do you feel a coach has in terms of a team's performance? Like, should the coach be blamed for certain performance issues? We saw with Snasky and Dignitas, a lot of people. And I saw it a couple times on Reddit. People who were saying that Snasky should have done more to fix up the Dignitas team, and it seemed like people were putting a lot more on his shoulders than the players themselves and any other issues they might have been working through there. So, what are your thoughts in terms of how much responsibility falls on yourself and others as coaches?
So I like that you say like should Snasky. So when you look at actual sports as well, like so much pressure, not even pressure, it's like responsibility is put on the coaches of like
Yeah,
basketball teams, soccer teams, whatever.
yeah.
Because
A lot of people blame coaches for things.
yeah, and in that case, I think it's completely true, and
Yeah,
like
like in
that it
football when they're calling the plays and stuff, like in those cases I get it, but in like an instance like Rocket League, it's more you do everything you can off the field, and then once they're in the game, they're in the game, and you're hands off at that point. Like you've set them free in the water, and it's now up to them on if they sink or swim.
see that is the thing why I believe regardless of what Rocket League is right now is I believe that it will always be the coach's fault because that is the only way that it will develop to be the coach's fault, which is how it should be. Because
So do you think that it is actually the coach's fault when issues arise?
see
Or
the
like if
tough
they have bad performances.
see here's the tough thing is that I think it does because let me give a quick story.
Yeah, no, go
Is
for it.
when I coached old Nefarious, Bell, Buddy, and Garen, basically what it came down to was me understand like I'm putting the blame on me regardless of what other like the players on that roster would feel. I'm putting the blame on me for not being able to realize who the best player that they should have picked up was because it was Bell and Buddy looking for third. I thought we were fine with Garen and he showed promise and Garen's a nice guy. Garen's a good player, but I don't think that he was the right mental player that we were looking for. Like he just didn't have a good mentality, and that did us in. I feel
Yeah.
so. Still, good player and respects to him, but basically he just wasn't the right fit for us. And so high on our honeymoon, we thought it would be fine.
Mm-hmm.
And this time around, I now have a conditioned perspective to where I can see things for what it is much better, and
Yeah.
that
You don't have the rosy glasses anymore.
yeah, like, and that is why that's basically what I just said. Like, I feel like blame should be put on coaches until like it's just mainstreams to where everyone feels that way. Because right now, I don't feel like players or not players, the viewership. I don't think that they think like that,
Mm-hmm.
or I don't think like orgs think like that either. I
Yeah.
think they think it's just up to the players, because it's not developed. But how I said it should be coach's fault until it's mainstreamed is for the same reason because I was able to learn from that, until
Yeah.
until that accountability is held for coaches, like that's how it'll be able to succeed. So I put that accountability on myself, and that's why I've been able to come back stronger this season and know what to look for and what not to look for. So that's how I feel about that. So in terms of Snasky though, I feel it comes down to like if the players were coachable.
See,
And
that was my next thing that I was kind of like wondering about is sometimes players just they kind of butt heads with you as a coach, and like we were talking a minute ago about like the biggest challenge. Sometimes it is trying to break through that thick head skull that sometimes a player has because they know more than you. They're quote better than you. Um,
the worst kind of player is the player that agrees with you on the surface and doesn't give feedback
but
and
then
doesn't
like suddenly kind of goes around and does something else.
and does something completely different after your quote agreeing and not
Yeah.
adding anyone. But that's what I've been able to learn to avoid.
Well,
So
that's difficult too because you're again like you were saying you're trying to be transparent. You're trying to create this open dialogue, and to put it nicely, they screw that up when they decide not to engage in that open dialogue that you're setting out there for them.
yeah, so the only sign that I could have known is the fact that they're not giving feedback. That's a sign that they don't agree is when they
Yeah.
don't give feedback. So basically how our tryouts go is first I wouldn't even try anyone out if they're not coachable.
Yeah, first you're
And
looking at like can you take criticism? Can you take feedback?
yeah, because we're not looking to put together a pickup team 6-man roster
Yeah.
for RLRS. We're looking to build a team, a foundation. So
Yeah. Maybe you don't make this RLRS, but you build that foundation, you get that experience behind you, you get that teamwork, and then say season 8 didn't go your way. Season 9 becomes much more realistic because you'll now have the time and experience behind y'all.
yeah, so basically that's why I put accountability on the coaches because I was able to learn from it, and now that could have like that it wasn't time wasted. It was time anyone would wish that didn't happen, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it's good to have the chance to bounce back now, and it's good I was able to learn from it because now we're capable of much better things. I feel, and throughout the process of coaching that I've been a part of, I've been able to refine and just master what I already thought was good to what it is now. So I feel like just I feel like the accountability should be put on the coaches. But for Snatsy's case, when it's RLCS, when you're thrown into an org like that,
Yeah.
it's like he may just be looking for a job,
I
not
mean, he could have been thrown into a really crappy situation at the time,
yeah.
and with like with KDOP leaving, and then um, again, it seems like there was a lot going on behind the scenes that again we're never gonna know, but it does seem like it was one of those situations where it was kind of thrown is trial by fire, if you will.
Yeah, so it's like the players in complexity might be coachable. They might pay him more, and just everything could
It's a
just be
better
better.
fit.
So that so for that case, I don't know. He might have just accepted the offer just for some money, just for
Yeah.
a stream income. So it's just tough.
Yeah.
It's just tough.
No, it's just interesting hearing from you though because I until you kind of like laid out your case just now, I was more of the group that it's on the coach to an extent, and then beyond that, I just say like it comes down to like chemistry and players and stuff. But just interest. I like your perspective though. I like that mentality of it's on me. I like that kind of ownership that you're taking of it. It's very interesting and I mean, whatever you're doing, it seems like it's going well. You guys have been performing pretty nicely lately, so y'all got second in pool party.
Yep.
So I mean, you guys are killing it out there. So I mean, I wish you guys all the best as y'all go into the qualifiers and as you go into the rival esports summer open. You got anything else you want to quickly add before we go into our sign off?
Nope, I'm good. I'm good to go.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Once again, please consider following us here on Twitch and all that jazz. We'll be uploading this episode later on YouTube for anyone who missed today's live recording. I give you a cool URL with that, but we don't have enough subscribers. So go subscribe over there, because once we hit 100, we can finally have something cool to say, like youtube.com/playingwithrockets or something like that. I need consistency in my life, people. Come on. Please go give us a subscription. Kairos, you got anything you want to plug? Twitch, Twitter, anything like that you want to plug real quick?
Nah, it's just right there underneath my webcam, I guess. So
You can follow him over at RL Kairos over on Twitter. You can follow me at PWR_Ryan. And you can follow us at PWR_Leagues over on Twitter. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. This has been Around the Scene, presented by Playing with the Rockets. I'm Ryan, that's Kairos, and it has been our pleasure to have you with us. Take care and enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you next week. Toodaloo.